Silent Hill F recently dropped some pertinent information on the monsters our protagonist Hanako will go up against in this newest installment of the Silent Hill franchise. Today we will analyze what we've seen so far in regard to the enemy design shown during June's State of Play. The first monster we make contact with in the new release date trailer is called Kashimashi, a monster that is reminiscent of a doll, giving a heavy nod to a recurring design of mannequins and porcelain. This monster is a feminine entity covered in slashes from a blade, loose pockets of what appears to be skin, gouged out eyes, and legs that join to feet that appear to be the anatomy of a horse. She contorts at almost every movement and also wields a massive knife of which she uses to attack Hanako. It would appear this monster may be one of the first we encounter, making her difficulty a little lower in the ranks. In Japanese, Kashimashi translates to noisy and chaotic. The word is also a traditional view of a woman's dwelling as a source of confusion and disorder. The second monster encounter we are shown is quite brief, but still gives us quite a bit of information. This monster is called the Ara-abare. Ara translates to "oh my" or "hello", and abare means to violently act or to struggle. In fighting games, abare is a general term for performing risky actions. The most common version of this is using a fast attack while at frame disadvantage, or mashing. Looking at the Ara-abare, we see the left arm is that of a gigantic tentacle, fiercely and rapidly wrapping around Hanako, picking her up, then throwing her down. On the right arm, we see a gigantic blade attached to the monster's flesh. My guess is an attack with this arm will deal some heavy damage. All around its body, you see tentacle-like protrusions, as well as the same floral fungus found all over Ebisugaoka. It's also fun to note that the Ara-abare really looks super close to an insane cancer. In historic context, there is a thing called the Abare Festival, which originated around 1665 to counteract violent epidemic raging in Noto, Ishikawa. In the context of the Abare Festival, it refers to a vibrant and boisterous celebration that commemorates the eradication of a contagious disease, with energetic rituals and ceremonies. The purpose of this festival is to hustle bravely and violently, as its name indicates. It is said that the more violently people behave, the more God will delight, as this rampage represents enshrined Susanoo no Mikoto, which is known as a destructive deity. The third monster to grace us is referred to as Ayakakashi. Ayakakashi is the collective name for yokai that appear above the surface of a body of water. For those unaware, the yokai are a class of supernatural entities and spirits in Japanese folklore. It's important to note that the Ayakakashi monster heavily resembles the urban legend of the kune-kune. The kune-kune are entities said to appear in fields on hot summer days. These entities are known to destroy the mind of the person who sees it, causing their prey to go insane. Kune-kune also translates to wiggling body, as they are often described as a humanoid shape like a paper mannequin or a piece of fabric. If someone does not approach or make contact with the kune-kune, it is said that the kune-kune will ignore them. In Silent Hill F, we see the Ayakakashi in fields and indoors. Their limbs are bound by ropes and wither away abruptly, and they move in a manner as if the wind is blowing them across the maps at rapid speeds as they attack Hanako. Their skin is that of cracked porcelain and some berry-bladed weapon. In the trailer, we also see that Ayakakashi can take both male and female form, all seeming to be wearing the same school uniform as our protagonist. When researching about the kune-kune, I came across the urban legend of Hanako-san, or Toure no Hanako-san. Sorry for the butchering of that title. This can be translated to Hanako of the toilet. While there are different versions of this story, I find it compelling that what happened to Hanako may loosely relate to our Hanako. Notice how the names are extremely similar. Hanako-san either endured death by a parent or stranger in a bathroom, death playing hide-and-seek in a bathroom as a result of an air raid during the World War II era, which coincides with our setting being in 1960s Japan, or death by suicide in a school toilet due to bullying. There are lots of theories out there right now about how Hanako may already be dead, so this story of Hanako-san may relate to the story of Hanako in some fashion. The fourth monster we've seen was not present in the newest trailer, but was in the official reveal trailer back in April. This monster goes by the name Oi-omoi. Again, I'm sorry for the mispronunciation. This name is a play on words, or rather a combination of words. Based on the two variants of kanji, omoi can mean thoughts and emotion, or heavy and massive. Oi translates to hey, but is often seen as a rough or rude way of gaining someone's attention. This monster draws from the mannequin theme and dons several heads and upper limbs, while its lower half only has 2 legs and 2 feet. The Oi-omoi appears very childlike. The final monster listed looks more like a boss type. When Hanako comes into contact with the final monster in the release trailer, she calls it Sakuko, the name of one of Hinako's friends. This monster seems to resemble that of the Onryo. In Japanese folklore, the Onryo is known as a vengeful spirit and are often depicted as wronged women who are traumatized and infuriated by what happened during their life. The Onryo's life force is to exact revenge and death. These entities appear extremely vengeful, deranged, egotistical, and bloodthirsty. Pairing this context with how Hanako appears to be called a traitor throughout most of the trailer, we may be able to deduce Hanako may have deeply wronged Sakuko in some fashion. According to the Silent Hill F website, Sakuko's family manages the local Shinto shrine, and so she helps with some of the ritual duties. This makes sense considering this last entity appears much stronger and is covered in ceremonial clothing, as well as wielding ritualistic weapons. The entity also dons pigtails, just as Sakuko does. When the entity turns around to face Hanako, it goes absolutely bananas, letting out a terrifying scream, all the while the entire screen warping and turning red and pink. I wonder if this is a recurring action that calls upon other lower tier entities to inflict damage on Hanako in place of the main entity. I'm now more excited than I was 2 months ago for Silent Hill F. I believe it is going to be very well written, and going off of what we've seen and know now, I know I'm going to be absolutely terrified to play this game. With that being said, what do you think of the latest reveal? Do you like the monster designs? Is the story compelling? Tell us all about it in the comments, and please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more Silent Hill F news. Also, please consider joining our growing community Discord for all the behind-the-scenes action. My name is Calypso, and thank you so much for dining with Just Happy Burger.